Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Once again, this is Dr. Soul Brother coming to you with another remedy to help cure your ills. I want to say before I get started, I want to encourage people to hit the like button, subscribe, and please comment in the comment section. Don't leave it blank. Tell me what you like, dislike, give me any ideas. I'm definitely open to that. Um, Let me say this out the gate. I know that everybody has been talking about the recent um, thing with one of our greatest artists that we produced here in America, and that is Stevie Wonder, taking on Ghanaian citizenship. And as recent as I believe 2020 or 2021, announcing that he's looking to leave the United States and move to Ghana permanently. Well, it appears that he's going in that direction, given the fact that he's taking on Ghanaian citizenship. I'm gonna say this, and I would love to get your thoughts on what I'm about to say. You know, back in the 1990s, I'm gonna be a little transparent here. Back in the 1990s, I remember there was this push to get Black Americans to take on um, uh, Ghanaian citizenship. Well, not just citizenship there, but mostly Ghana seemed to be the thing to try to get citizenship there. You know, I always, and this is the honest to God truth, I always felt kind of funny about that. I couldn't articulate it, but something just didn't seem right. And as time has progressed, and then, that was in the 1990s. Here we are, 2024. I've gotten older, and it's become very, very apparent why that's a problem. It's a problem because historically, our people whose blood, sweat, and tears is soaked in the very soil of America fought for citizenship, fought for citizenship after slavery. Because on the plantation, we were not um, citizens of the United States. That didn't come about until post slavery as a result of the 14th Amendment. Anybody who might need to get a crash course in high school civics or take a class in American government in college, and if you did take a class in American government in college, then you need a refresher course because the fact of the matter is, contrary to what has been put out there by people like the Nation of Islam and other groups, um, we are American citizens. If you're born and raised in the United States, born on American soil, you are an American citizen, whether you uh, have roots in America or not. If you're born and raised in the United States of America, you are a citizen, and by definition, you are an American. Let's be clear on that. Okay. Now, some of y'all might feel a certain kind of way about that and all that. Well, you need to keep your hangups to yourself. Okay. Because um, what did old boy say in the movie Trey say in the movie Boys in the Hood? Like it or not, you're from Africa. Well, guess what? Like it or not, you're an American. Okay. You're an American. I'm an American. We're Americans here. Period. But let me move on. Um, when folks of the quote unquote conscious community try to encourage us to leave America, not just, taking on uh, citizenship in another country, but leave America and just quit America, to borrow from a book written by Randall Robinson. That's the title of a book that he wrote, I want to say 2003, 2004, maybe. I think it was 2004. Quitting America, because that's what they want you to do. The conscious community, because they've got some confusion and about their identity. It wasn't more than just confusion. They have a hatred of their American identity, and they have a hatred for their ethnicity. Okay, ethnicity. They've superimposed those hangups and hatred of their American identity onto others. Others who are maybe not that sophisticated, and all the rest of it. That's been a problem. That's been a problem. And to be brutally frank about it, Dr. Soul Brother here is sick and tired of it. Sick of it. I really am sick of it. It makes me sick. It's sickening because I recognize the damages that has been done and continues to be done. This is sickening, man. Imagine that. You don't like the skin you're in. You don't like the house you're in. Well, if you feel that way about it, well, then what you need to do is maybe get you a one-way ticket and fly out of here because you're a bad influence on the rest of us. I mean, the thing is this: Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, um, Fannie Lou Hamer, and a bunch of other folk, they weren't doing that. Those folks who were in the civil rights movement, I could go even, way before the modern civil rights movement was in the 1960s, but just looking at that, folks were not trying to separate themselves from their American identity. They were trying to affirm it. Affirm it. That was part of well, let me back up. Not only was it about trying to break down those barriers that were problematic that led to discrimination and and not just discrimination, but ultimately led to dehumanization, if you will, all those kind of things. But the other reality is um, they realized that they were trying to affirm, and when they were affirming their see, I want y'all to hear me because while they were affirming their American identity, it was much to the chagrin of the racist bastards who were opposed to them. So I'm saying all of that to say this: when you want to quit America, you are playing right into the hands of these bastards. And somebody could argue, say, well, you just bullheaded, stubborn. You can call it whatever you want to. And I'll admit, yeah, I am stubborn. I do have a stubborn streak. Okay. But it's stubborn in a positive way. No, you are not going to uh, tell me or try to shame and guilt me of my American identity. And there's no way on God's green earth I'm going to allow anybody, whether it's a black person out of the so called conscious community or racist white bastard or racist white broad, because you got it both ways, men and the women who are racist to the core and want to act like this is a quote unquote white nation. Let me tell y'all something. There were people growing up back in the day who were white in different parts of the country, not just the South, but just Midwest, East Coast, West Coast, who grew up in a white bubble or grew up in white bubbles, I should say. All right. Um, Former First Lady Hillary Clinton, by her own admission, growing up, never interfaced with a black person. Y'all hear me? Never interfaced with a black person. She didn't grow up in the South, unlike her husband, Bill Clinton. And her first time interfacing with a black person was in college, the women's college she went to and graduated from. That was her first time interfacing. I'm bringing that up just to make a specific point. Those white folks who grew up in uh, environments like that, like I met a woman who she's from Bell, California, and grew up in the 1950s. And she said that in her high school, in her community, not just the high school, that she's similar to Hillary Clinton, grew up not interfacing with black folk. And that was in the 1950s on the West Coast in California. Okay? Now, you have to ask yourself the question during the days of television, during that era, if you're growing up in a white bubble and you're watching television, TV shows, with an exception of Amos and Andy, but the rest of those shows that came on TV, I Love Lucy, Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver, host of others, they're too numerous to mention right now, where it was everybody was on there white. Not even the extras were white. Hmm? What though? Oh, how can I forget this? The newscasters, white men. Okay, that kind of thing on TV reinforces a white bubble, and also a white lie that this was a all white nation. Yeah, you're in the majority, but you're not. It's not exclusively a white country. So when black folk were pushing to make their voices heard in the 1960s and trying to affirm uh, their American identity, it was much to the dismay of those racist white folk, especially the ones who had been steeped into this belief that this is their country and doesn't belong to anybody else, and anybody else is here is a guest or is a, 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 a foreigner of sort. Okay, that kind of stuff. Well, the thing is this: do not allow, whether it be the conscious community or white folks, to try to shame and guilt you regarding your American identity. And I say all this, with all due respect to our brother Stevie Wonder, who I grew up listening to. And Stevie Wonder is clearly a genius. But we need to understand something. And I heard when he said to Oprah Winfrey and to some other people that he was put off by the racism in America. We get it. I mean, he's been on this earth 74 years. So he's seen things and experienced things that those who are younger didn't necessarily experience, including his own children. But here's the thing: when you decide to throw in the towel and say, I'm out of here, when white folks see that, it's like, yes. And then when you denounce your American citizenship, when you denounce your American identity, when you denounce the American society, where a lot of people from overseas are flooding over here, they swimming through the streams and finding all kind of ways to get over here, and you're trying to get over there. And let's understand something: the grass is not necessarily greener on the other side, overseas necessarily. Okay. And here's the other thing, and I'll end with this. This is very curious. Stevie Wonder has a relationship with Louis Farrakhan that goes back to the 1970s. Matter of fact, if you go through the album um, Songs in the Key of Life, you'll see he make a reference to um, Louis Farrakhan, but his name is not printed as Louis. It's some other name. I can't, Halim or something like that. Halim Farrakhan. That's Louis Farrakhan at that time, who was following Ward Dean Muhammad. But that's a whole nother conversation. My point is this: he is on record of trying. He, meaning Louis Farrakhan, is on record of trying to disabuse black folk of our American identity, and he has a friendship with somebody like Stevie Wonder. And Louis Farrakhan, unlike uh, Stevie Wonder, while he's American born and raised, has no roots here. Stevie Wonder, who has roots here, is trying to get out of here. Whereas somebody like Louis Farrakhan, who has no roots here and is on record of trying to disabuse black folk of our American identity, has no intention of leaving here. You think he's trying to go to Ghana or any other part of Africa or any part of the Caribbean? As I mentioned before, he got roots in Jamaica and St. Kitts. Mama from St. Kitts, daddy from Jamaica. He ain't trying to go any of those places to live. He will die here on American soil. Let's clear, because he loves America, contrary to his funky rhetoric that tries to inflame the passions of black folk and try to disabuse us of our American identity. And so when you do that and say, I'm out of here, what you're saying, hey, this is the white man's country, let the white folks have it. In spite of the blood, sweat, and tears, the black folk fought for our citizenship. Again, what gives us citizenship is what? The 14th Amendment. And we just gonna toss that and flush it down the toilet? Oh no, no. Well, the rest of y'all can do what you want to do. I will stand 10 toes down on with this. 10 toes down, because guess what? My American citizenship is my gold card. Let me be real clear on that. So anyway, I'm gonna end this right now because I don't want to go any further because I'm getting really heated right now discussing this. But it really, really bothers me. So I'm encouraging those of y'all in the clouds to really make a reassessment of all of this and do not give these bastards any ammunition. None. And to you, black folks in the so called conscious community who really think you're saying something, who want to push this Pan Africanism, and you're using Pan Africanism as a shield for another level of black self hatred. That's a show in and of itself. But that's what you're doing. So, what I'm saying is keep your funky hangups to yourself. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and please comment. And until the next time, God bless.